Hello, our friend. How are you today?
Very well. Thank you, my friends. How are you?
We are well, thank you. Do you come in the love and the light of the Infinite One Creator?
I do. Do you also?
We do as well. Thank you for asking. This is always good to clarify.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. We just have a few interesting points that Gaia is experiencing that we find exciting, and you may or may not.
Please share with us.
Your tides are changing. Your tidal volumes, like the oceans that come in and out.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes. So what you're going to notice is that there's going to be a higher waves, more intrusion upon the land with the water, and that's normal and nothing to be fearful of. Just to be aware that that's a normal cycle that Gaia goes through in order to cleanse herself.
Okay.
We've spoken of this before.
Yes.
Yes, of how the water cleanses itself through the sand.
Right.
And it also cleanses the land as well. So you're going to notice more, we'll just call it tidal volume, increased waves, potentially minor disruptions that these waves can cause. But this is a normal cycle, and to not be fearful of it, that this is normal.
Okay. And this is as a result of the melting of the ice caps and the glaciers.
That does contribute to it, but it's also a fluctuation in the geomagnetics of your planet,
Mm-hmm.
of the pull and push from the moon and from other systems that influence how the water moves throughout the planet. But this is a normal cycle, but we don't want people to be alarmed, but just to know that this is a normal thing and to not be fearful of it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, yes. It's a way that the ocean cleanses itself and the sand cleanses itself and the little sea critters, they clean themselves the same way because they need that constant friction of the water to rinse off their gills and their shells and things of that nature. So this is a normal cycle in order to preserve your oceans because that's your primary support of life on your planet.
Okay. Do you anticipate that this will significantly change the shorelines?
It can modify the shorelines. We have to wait and see what Gaia decides. Nothing to a dramatic degree where you're going to lose houses or things like that. There's nothing to be fearful of. It's just you're going to notice an increase in your tidal volumes, and to not be alarmed because that's a normal progression that Gaia goes through in order to cleanse herself. Because you are so dependent on your oceans, we don't think you realize how dependent you are on your oceans and how critical they are to your atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
to your rain production, to your fishing, to so many aspects of your life. So this is a normal process that's going to escalate from your perspective because it only happens maybe once a generation. So when you start to observe these things, it might be a little bit alarming to your scientists and your common people along particularly the Gulf coasts and other coasts throughout the world. But this is what's going to happen, and this is normal. So
Okay.
not to be fearful of it.
And something the surfers should look forward to.
Yes.
Okay.
Perhaps. Yes. Yes. We wouldn't advise going out on the surf like that with a surfboard, but if you choose to do so, then that's on you.
Okay. Our instrument has a propensity towards that.
Yes, yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Yeah.
And there's lots of rocks and things like that too. So that's another thing to be cognizant of, especially people that are in the boating industry
Mhm.
that fish, especially in your what you would consider what you call your third world countries that are on those small boats
Mhm.
that
Yes.
go out and fish on a daily basis with their big nets. This could become troublesome for them when the tidal volume increases quite a bit.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You
Yes.
said there was another issue that you wanted to discuss.
That's the primary issue. Other than that, just the global shift in the economy. That's going to be another challenge for many people. But nothing to be fearful of because it will hopefully eventually resolve. But it's just a power struggle, as we've spoken about before, between service to self and service to others. And that's a continuing power struggle of you, as you have seen in your media with your different countries that have the propensity to want to hoard money and want to deprive their population of basic goods.
Yes.
So That's going to continue for a little while, but that should shift in a positive direction so that eventually humanity will decide that they do not want to follow that paradigm anymore. And that will be a very positive thing.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
May I ask a few questions for clarification?
Yes.
Um, in our relationship, you speak to us with one voice,
Mhm.
and but the voice that you're speaking for is a complete 9-star system. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a collective, but we choose one voice to speak for sort of all of us as a collective because if everyone were to jump in, it would be very confusing for you
Certainly.
because we all still, even though we are somewhat detached from the earth experience as individuals, we are a collective, but we have to choose one voice to sort of represent all. So if all of us were to jump in as individuals, it would sound very chaotic.
Right. My understanding is that the 9-star each 9-star system represents all 6 or 7 of the densities, or
S-
does it represent all 8 densities?
Only 7.
Only 7.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we're not quite at that level of 8 and above. Yes, yes.
Okay.
7,
The
sometimes 8, we can dip into that, kinda like you dip into, like, a pool,
right.
in and out, but we are not quite that evolved as of yet.
Okay. And I understand from the raw material that it is um, not terribly commonplace, but most of the voice representations of the entities that we communicate with are actually a fifth density voice, even though the information may be cumulative to the collective. Is that correct?
Yes, we can be 5th and 6th density, but it's a cumulative voice that has to be filtered through our instrument. So we are relying on her vocabulary
Mm-hmm.
and her experience in order to convey information. So that's what we have to rely upon.
Right. Yes, I understand. But the instruments are chosen purposefully because of their capacity to provide this service. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Yes.
that is correct. And it's interesting that you decided to want to communicate today because we presented ourselves to her yesterday. Did you see her photograph?
Yes. Yes, I
That
did.
was us.
Oh, okay. Well, that was on my list of questions.
Yes, yes, we knew you were going to ask that.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. That was us yesterday and last night in her bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that green, and you can we give you permission to produce that photo should you want to on this communication.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
but
Excellent.
that was us. Yes, that there was no mistaking that because that was during the day, which normally people when they say, "Oh, I see a ghost" or this or that, it's at night and it's it's scary. But no, this was during the day. It was green and it had an arrow with a circle, which means we're aiming for you and we're aiming for everybody.
Okay.
It's symbolism. We have to use symbolism.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So it's an arrow. We're aiming for you. We're aiming for humanity. We're aiming for the benefit of all. And green is a very positive color
Mm-hmm.
that people on the human spectrum can relate to
Right.
because it's a calming color,
Right.
which is
And
why
it's reflective of the heart chakra too.
yes, yes, absolutely, the heart chakra, which is why we chose that color. So it took our instrument a little bit off guard, but it didn't scare her. So we showed up again last night in a similar fashion. Now she didn't have her glasses and couldn't take a picture of it last night, but
Mm-hmm.
she at least captured the one photo, which we were excited about. So what we will say is moving forward as disclosure continues
Mm-hmm.
with us and with other beings, you're going to see more and more of that. And so when people do see things of that nature, we would encourage them to not be scared
Mm-hmm.
or alarmed, but to recognize it as a sign of becoming more and more part of the intergalactic family.
Mm-hmm.
As you were watching the film this morning.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So we would encourage people to not look at that as being a scary thing because the energy behind it is very positive. So when our instrument saw us, she wasn't alarmed because the energy behind it was very calming. So what's going to happen moving forward, potentially, we can't speak in absolutes, we do not know, but potentially moving forward, more and more of your people on your planet are going to see things like this, and we would encourage them to not be fearful of it, but to just take a brief pause, feel the energy of it, and embrace it if it feels good, because most of the time it will.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
The other folks that communicate with us, the Pleiadians, etc., their um, need to communicate through a single voice is usually that single voice is also fifth density. Is that correct?
Yes,
It's just an easier structure.
yes.
Okay.
Minimum fifth density, otherwise they cannot get through.
Right.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
yes. Mhm.
Um, the um, topic that we've discussed in the past about, and again, I'm somewhat at a loss to call it. It's not first contact because obviously we've been communicating for quite some time, and you've been communicating for quite some time. Open contact, possibly.
Open contact on a mass scale is what you're referring to?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And we had talked about the potential of the scheduling of that being delayed because of uncertainties in the population's awareness level and chaos level.
Yes, and a lot of that chaos level is due to your current governments,
Right.
which are still trying to maintain power, as we've spoken about before,
Yes.
that has to, decline and potentially change, and that's incumbent upon your population in order to facilitate that. We cannot interfere with that. We cannot interject any
Hmm.
sort of influence on that.
Right.
That is outside of our realm. That's a violation of free will. So it has to be incumbent upon your population. So until that day comes, we're going to have to do a hands off, like
Hmm. Yes.
kind of a thing. So we've been interacting with your humanity for thousands and thousands of years. So a
Right.
few more years, uh, we don't know that for sure. We have to wait and see what you decide as humanity, but we cannot interfere until there is a little more stability. And that stability has to come from within, not from without.
And the we that you're referring to are all the members of the
All
federation.
of
Is that
Medi
correct?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
all
you
the
work
members of
as
the
a unit.
Confederate. Yes, yes, we work as a unit. We're kind of like a team, like what you would consider like your United Nations, where you've got representatives from all different places.
Right.
It's kind of like that. Like that's the best analogy we can give. But we cannot interfere until there is more stability within humanity, and that's not our decision to make, nor our choice to influence or interfere with. You
Right.
have to progress to a point where you can manage that on your own. We cannot do that for you.
Right, I understand. So that the scheduling or rescheduling as it may happen is entirely upon it will be a response to our behavior.
Of course, absolutely, yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, so a as you call it, what's that expression that you use? Our instrument uses it, "up in the air"?
Yes.
We don't
Yes.
understand that, "up in the air," that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but up in the air is kind of where all of that's at the moment, so we, have to take a hands-off approach and just observe, until things stabilize a little bit more and you decide, not only in your United States, but in your Europe, but most particularly in your Africa,
Mm-hmm.
Somalia, places like that that need to make decisions, and we cannot do that for you. We cannot interfere until there is more stability in those aspects.
Right. Okay. Another question on a completely different topic. We, as we've discussed before, are a 9-star universe. And it has our universe has expanded in groups of 9 stars, each star being representative of an archetype of the creator that has been determined to conduct this experiment that we call a universe. There is a council of 9 that has communicated with portions of the earth population in the past that I understand is headquartered on one of the moons of one of our planets. My question is, does that 9, that council of 9, is that representative of our 9-star system, or is that representative of a much broader portion of the universe? And is there a central council of 9 for the entire universe?
We understand your query, and we think that you're thinking of it as too much of a physicality location.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
We don't like. have a headquarters on Venus per se, or this location or that location. It is more of a consciousness that can bounce from place to place to place. So we
Mhm.
don't need a particular headquarters,
Right.
as you said. So we understand your perspective on that. But we can, as our instrument would say, bounce around from place to place without needing a particular headquarters, i.e., a planet.
Right.
Now, we can uh, situate on a planet and communicate in that regard, but it's not as formal as you might think it is.
Okay, and the participants in any of the Council of 9 structures are of 6 density, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, so they need not travel,
No,
at all in
not
order to.
physically in the way that you understand it.
Right,
Because
exactly.
mentally we can connect and have conversations and discuss things similar to when you pick up your telephone or your internet to connect with people.
Mhm.
It's similar to that. So we don't need to physically bilocate or travel to different locations. We can do it via that way because we don't need the need to physically travel because that would take a long time, as you understand it.
Mhm. So that's a product of having achieved that level of unity
Yes.
consciousness.
Yes, 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 yes. Once you're all on a unity level consciousness, there's no need to meet up physically because you can communicate indirectly through your thoughts, your emotions, particularly, and your intentions. And they can all be perceived by everybody else because that's the level that we are at.
Okay. There is a, confusion on the purpose of the Council of 9. Some people perceiving it to be a regulatory agency, others perceiving it to be an educational opportunity for those wishing to accelerate their consciousness progression. Could you kind of clarify that? Explain the purpose of the 9. What does the 9 Council of 9 do?
The Council of 9 is sort of an oversight, and but we're more of we offer advice.
Hmm.
We're not authoritative. We don't dictate, if you do this, then this is bad and that we're not like that. It's more of an observation and more of a counseling. Like if it was, we'll use this as an example. Say a 4-year-old steals something from a store.
Hmm.
You're not going to smack them and beat them up. You're going to counsel them on what they could do better next time.
Right.
Right. So we're more of a counseling agency, if you will, in that regard, where we advise, well, this direction didn't turn out as well as you would hope. Perhaps next time try A, B, C, or D. And so that's more of what it is.
Okay. And who do you counsel? Who does the Night Council of 9 counsel?
Whomever comes before us.
Okay. And to come before you, do you have to be of a certain um, level of achievement in consciousness of progression?
Usually sixth density.
Okay.
Hmm.
So,
Yes, yes. So they're the ones that sort of run the show, so to speak,
right.
for certain planetary organizations and things of that nature. So when they have issues, they can come to us and request guidance.
Okay. And
Yes.
the input then is of course, from the perspective each individually, but cumulatively for all of the archetypes of the creator.
Yes, yes, it's cumulative. So that each perspective is offered so that you have a group consensus and you offer the individual more opportunities to choose which path to go with more information.
Okay.
So it's mostly about information. So the more information you can provide, the better the decision making is on the other end.
Right. Okay. And the Council of 9, there is a Council of 9 for our 9-star system and other councils of 9 for different 9-star systems.
Yes, each nine-star system is similar in structure and format,
Hmm.
and they all have their own individual groupings, if you will.
Right.
So they can provide because they have their own specialties. So each nine-star system has its own sort of focus
Hmm.
and their own sort of agenda. So you need a certain nine-star system council to progress and assist with their development, depending upon whatever their objectives are. So each nine-star system has its own sort of objectives as far as what they want to accomplish. So each one's going to be different,
Okay.
which means each council is going to be different and unique, particular to that particular place.
Right. Okay. And the purpose of the distortion of manyness is to provide diversity with the same basic criteria, archetypical creator archetype criteria. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So it's a mix and match of different things where we pick up that diagram that you produced many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a mix and match of all of those kinds of things depending upon what the goal is of that particular 9-star system.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a mixing and matching of that. So therefore, it's going to be governed in a different way. We don't
Okay.
like the word governed, but guided. Let's use guided. We
Right.
like that word
Okay.
better. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. And before each new 9-star system, the universe expands and another 9-star system, is the intent of the curriculum of that 9-star system determined before it is created, or is that naturally evolved because of its choices?
It's naturally evolved based upon its choices and who is going to participate in that system. So it's unique to each one, but it's not always a 9-star system.
In our universe, it's not always a 9-star system.
Nope.
Okay, well that's changing my perspective.
It's not always 9 stars.
Okay. Well, 9 stars, each star being representative of a different archetype?
Yes, but there can be 7
Okay.
depending upon the goal of that particular universe and its system. You don't need all 9. You can have 7, you can have 5. It just depends upon the goal of that particular solar system,
Okay.
and it's not always 9.
Well, it's a solar system. Interesting. Okay. Well, that changes my understanding of how each universe is constructed then.
Yes, yes, they're all very different. Yes, we're sorry to disrupt your
Okay.
thought pattern on the 9-star system, but
All right.
no.
Well, you've described yourself as a sister 9-star system to our
Yes.
9-star system. Does our 9-star system have an identifying name as the Arcturians do?
It's up to you to decide what you wanna call it.
Okay.
We're not going to
Okay.
name it for you, it's not a pet.
Okay, but there's not a pre-existing name that is promoted as representative of our
No,
9-star
it's not a
system.
pet. No,
Okay, it's not a pet?
no.
Okay, that's disappointing.
That's our instrument's humor coming through. We would
Yes,
never make
that's good.
that.
I've been working on that.
Yes, yes, yes. We would never call your universe a pet, but that's her, so we can't blur the lines too much.
Right, I understand. Okay. Okay.
Okay, well,
Well,
we're gonna let her go. She's getting kinda tired,
all right,
but it
very
was
good.
good
Thank you,
talking to
my
you.
friend. It's
Yes,
always a
it's been
pleasure.
a while. We wish you a good day or night or whatever time it is where you are.
Thank you, and continued good experiences for you. I'll just leave it open as to that.
Yeah, we don't have night or day
Right, I know.
or lunch or dinner.
Okay.
Okay, you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Night, whatever.
Bye.
Whew, tired. How was that?